and then work on customers the second half of the month to fill those distributors that you've already signed. But obviously you're working both the whole time, and then the last week always comes down to crunch time for volume. My favorite is being honest with people. And one of the girls said it in that video is, let them know that you're going for a huge promotion. And, if you were ever thinking about ordering, now would help me out a ton. And I'm only asking because you told me you were interested. If you're not interested, that's totally fine. But since you said you were interested, if you could order right now, it would help me out a ton. Can I count on your order? And people respond well to that. They, like, oh, thank you for letting me know. I've been meaning to order and just haven't. Or some people say, no, not right now. And that's fine too. At least, you can move on and check them off your list for this month and go back next month. But that's my favorite one, is just letting people know that you have a big goal. And since you were interested anyway, you can get what you want and help me get what I want, basically. So it's like a win-win.
That's a good one. I like that one. And that's actually what I've been doing today. And just being honest with people and just being like, look, I know you were interested in starting the wraps. I'm going for a huge promotion this week, and it would mean a lot if you get it now, and you'd be surprised, how many people be on board, because it's not urgent for them to get started today.
Yeah.
It
is for you. That might help.
I think creating that sense of urgency and will really get them to just go ahead and do it.
Definitely. And it's I hate being salesy. I don't like salespeople, and it's one of the reasons I hated network marketing before this. But I like to give people an easy out. I like to say, if you're not interested right now, it's totally fine. So that way, I'd rather have them tell me, no, thank you, not right now. So I give them an easy way to do that rather than ignore me. So at least I know where they're at. Because a lot of people will be like, I can't right now, don't have the money, but follow up with me in a couple weeks. Or at least I get a response that way instead of an ignoring, and so I just feel less salesy that way too. Like, hey, just let me know if you're not interested. That's totally cool. And people do. And I appreciate that.
Yes, that's good. And usually people that respond like, no, not right now or later, I thank them. I go back and be like, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for letting me know.
I always say, thank you for your sweet response. I really appreciate it. Because it bothers me when people don't respond. I get some
they know.
Yeah. When I do at least get a response, I'm like, thank you so much, So and that just helps build that relationship too, for later when they're ready to join.
Yeah.
And I got a message this morning from a girl. She said, hey, I'm finally interested in the wraps. You gave me your card 2.5 years ago, even though I haven't even been doing the business for 2.5 years.
That's really funny. I was like, wait.
I know. It's been 1.5 years, almost 2 years. But she thought it was 2.5 years ago. She's like, I'm finally interested in wrapping. So she's going to come over tomorrow, and I'm going to wrap her. And that kind of gave me a boost too. Like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this and I've been consistent about it for so long that she's finally come around.
Yeah.
So it helps to not end on a bad note. Like, even if they do say no,
right,
we'll need customers in 1 year from now, in 2 years from now. And I like having that mindset too, because a lot of us get discouraged, like, oh, this person didn't sign up this month like they said they were going to.
Right.
Or, this person said to contact them in May. I actually take that as a good thing. I'm going to need customers in May too. So I write them on my calendar.
Follow up with them
on May 1st, because I will need customers then, So kind of change your mindset on that too. Like, if it's not right now, it'll be later, and later you need
to too. Right.
So that might help you get over the nose and getting frustrated about that. But is there anything that you want to share with us, Krista, or do you want to just answer questions?
I'll answer questions. I love that you did this.
Yeah, thank you. I meant to start recording from the beginning and I forgot, but
I saw it come on like just a couple minutes ago, and I was like, was that there the whole time?
No, I meant to record the whole time and then I forgot to press it, so we're getting half of it. But Ava, sorry, I have my daughter and my son right here, so it's crazy.
You're all good.
So I think, I don't know what people want to hear from you. Nobody is asking questions. My biggest thing was just
sorry.
Jen, do you have a question?
Will and I have a question.
Oh, okay. Hi, Jessica, Will.
Hi, hold on. I was just wondering from Ruth, you and Krista, where do you guys think you get the most loyal customers and distributors? Is it more like online based? Do you think when you link up online, or do you think in person gets you more, like from your point of view?
I think Ruth and I are very similar. For me, it's almost 100% Facebook. When I meet new people, I friend them on Facebook, and because I know if I can get them on Facebook, eventually they'll become a customer or distributor. A very huge percentage of the time, especially if I wrap someone free from like an event, I make sure to get them on Facebook, because a lot of times they'll sign right then, but a lot of times they won't. But if I can get them on Facebook, they will later. Same with when I'm out and about meeting people. Like a lot of times I'll get really good service at a restaurant and I'll say, I love your personality. Like, I think you'd be really good at this business. We do this full time and we make really good money. If you're ever looking for additional income, I'd love to tell you more information. And then usually they're pretty interested, because if they've got a good personality, they're not going to be rude about it. They're going to act nice about it anyway, even if they're not interested. But I'll be like, hey, are you on Facebook? Like, we could connect on there and you can kind of see more of what I do. And almost everybody's like, yeah, that'd be great. So I friend them right there on my phone, and I assign people from there. And then that's how I go back and message people and add to my hundreds list. I do it all on Facebook. So even though I do some work in person, I always bring it back to Facebook. That's okay. I don't know how Ruth does it exactly, but I think she does a lot on Facebook too.
I learned from you. So I do. I'm all about adding people on Facebook and building that relationship. Pretty much everything. Said, even when I was a girl at Safeway, I added her on Facebook, and I'm still working on getting her as a distributor, because I know she would be amazing at this. But I think just building that relationship, the best way to build a relationship is on Facebook, so they can see your lifestyle and see how
you're a good person. Yeah. And totally. And there's a see first option too. So like when I add a potential on Facebook, as soon as I see they accept, I go and I click see first next to their name. And then that way, when I open Facebook, my newsfeed is going to be those people first. So I can like and comment on their stuff and make sure I'm working on that relationship.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks for the feedback.
Thanks for asking.
Sure.
I think, Jen, you had a question. Are you there?
Hi, I'm here. Just a quick question. I know, Ruth, you and I talked about this a little bit, but Krista, from being as you are our guest speaker, which I love, what Ruth told me some major, like very helpful key points when she was expecting Leo, just, the past year or so. And with me expecting right now, I told her, I'm not giving up, I'm far from that. And I know the key elements and the key points, what, kind of have a good idea of what to do, what not to do, what works, what doesn't work. But with morning sickness, how did you, Krista, like really get through, if you could recall, even with your little boy, working the business and being able to deal with that morning sickness, I don't know if that makes sense.
It does. It's hard. I think what helped me the most was I would make appointments, like not in the early morning, but after I would drop the other kids off at school, like 9 or 10 o'clock, I'd make appointments so that I would have to get dressed and I'd have to get ready. And then I would feel, that made me feel better. Because if I would just take the kids to school and go back home in my jammies and lounge around, like I felt more sick playing into it, you know? So I would make myself get up and get dressed and get ready. And work actually took my mind off of it. So the more I could follow up with people and message them and think about that and chart and talk to my team, like the less I felt sick because I wasn't thinking about it. If I'm not doing anything, if I'm just like, oh, I'm so sick, which I was, but the more I thought about it, the more sick I felt. So it helps. And even with my back pain now, it's the same. Like if I dwell on it, then all I want to do is not do anything ever. But if I do this, if I do a Zoom call with one of my rockstar teams, then I'm not thinking about it the whole time. You know, it just helps take your mind off of it when you're working. And that's what I did.
That makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was so sick.
You worked so hard during your pregnancy.
Oh my gosh, with Leo, you remember, I was throwing up a lot. I was so sick, but I found that going out and walking really helped. Like what Krista was saying, if I didn't just stay on the couch and do nothing, it helped to go out. But I think I needed this business to get me out of my pity slump of myself. You know what I mean? Like I needed this business to get my mind off of feeling sick. And it really did help, you know, and I think that's what drove me to do it more is like, I'm not going to be stuck here sick. I'm going to be helping people and get excited with other people and message people and build relationships with people, you know, versus a pity party for myself. So I hope that helps.
That does. Thank you both. Just, you know, moments where I'm just like, you know, you get an email and you're like, so-and-so's, you know, left you a message on your website, and these people like live in LA. And I'm like, I've never gone to LA. Like, how did my business get way down there? And come to find out, it was like of a mutual friend that I just happened to blitz a cashier. And I'm like, oh, you know, so it's grateful. I'm grateful for those opportunities. But, you know, in the heat of the moment, when you're feeling morning sickness, you're just like, I'm really trying to fight through it. So thank you both.
Does anybody else have a question? Heather, I know you're going for this huge promotion right now. You are working so hard, and you have, just in one day, you had over 200 in volume just from extra customers. Like, can you just share like what you're doing? You know, I'm sure we'd all love to hear, you know, what you're messaging, or like, you know, how are you able to do that so quickly?
I think for me, I'm just being relentless in a way that I haven't been before, and just following up and following up and following up, and maybe presenting it in a different way. You know, maybe if somebody wasn't getting back to me on the wraps, but I was following on their Facebook, that they were maybe, you know, getting into working out. So I introduced them to the shakes, the ProFit shakes, or maybe the It's Vital Core. Because I think that, like when I met with a potential distributor this morning, people still think that we're all about the wraps. I thought we were all about the wraps when I met you last year at Marissa's party, Naomi and I just remember seeing that whole table, and Naomi and I looking at each other like, wow, like what is all this stuff? We had no idea. And so many It Works distributors focus on the wraps, and of course it's the meat and of our business, but there is so many other things to offer to people. So if you get to know about one thing, you know, and I think it comes from working in my industry. I'm an account executive with a skincare company, and that's a very, 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 very competitive business, the cosmetic industry in general. And there's always another product that you can offer to somebody if one doesn't work. So I've been doing that. And, yesterday I had a little mini breakdown. And I think I got through that. We had a great conversation. I think it kind of rebooted both of us. And today I just, I wasn't getting responses to things. And I wrote my husband and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get a little, I didn't want to say depressed, but discouraged. And I found with this business that every time I do that, if I just take a deep breath and think about why I'm doing it, like my phone flips or somebody pops up on Facebook, okay, I'm ready. And I think that just motivates me and tells me this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing it for a reason. It'll happen. It's hard work. But yeah, literally from 5 to 6, I got 250 in volume.
It's amazing.
And one of them was Mark's mom, my husband's mom, who's been, no. I already take this. I already take that. And finally yesterday I said, well, I know you take omegas. I know you take a multivitamin, but, to support our business, would you consider switching to our brand? And I think it just clicked for her. And just today she popped up and she became a loyal customer and got 4 items. So, I just think that I'm just really trying to learn not to take no for an answer. And very much like Krista, I always give people an out, even my potential distributor today. I could have shoved her into doing it and she probably would have done it. But that's not how I want to have a distributor. If the timing right now isn't right for her, next month it will be, and I can just push her into next month. And yes, I desperately need that 5th leg. We both know that's what's holding back. But I always like to give people an out because I think it makes me more relatable. It makes it easier for people to talk to me or come to me when they finally are ready because they don't feel like they've been pushed into something. And 2 of mine were right before this call just popped up, and they're people I've been talking to for 6 months, and I just have kind of circled back to them in the last couple of weeks, and they're ready. So I think just staying on it and staying positive.
That's awesome.
Thank you. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
You'll get it. I know you're so close.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think some of you are just tuning in now, but thank you so much, Krista, for tuning in and just
thank you for asking me.
Yeah, I love our Zoom meetings. I actually, on days when I go crazy, I look forward to these meetings. It just keeps me sane, and it's fun. I like chatting with you guys and seeing you guys, and just talking with you guys really helps me be in a better mood, So I hope this helps you guys with that too. And I love, like I said, I love getting those phone calls even when you're discouraged and you're just ready to throw in the towel. That actually really motivates me to help and keep going. So don't feel like you can't reach out to me, if you're down or discouraged, please call me. I need those calls, So yeah. Anybody else have a question for Krista or something that you're really struggling with on your end, or you're just kind of stuck in a spot? I know one of you had asked me recently, what is a message that you send to potential distributors that just stopped replying, or you want to ask them again but you're not sure how to respond? It's hard for me to give a specific answer to that because I keep it really personable with each person. So it really depends on what the last message was.
Yeah, totally.
But Krista, do you have a favorite follow-up that you send to any potentials, distributors? It's month end, so, I need one more distributor. Hi, Mike.
Hi, guys.
So same as you, it's very targeted to whoever I'm talking to. But you literally just have to come up with something different to say. You have to scroll back through your messages, read what you've already sent, and think of a different way to word it. Because it always blows my mind how just wording the same question differently can make it click for somebody, and they're like, okay, sure. Like Ruth was just, hey, you should totally do this with me. She was like, really? Okay. I think about it, you know? And so I try that one a lot. Like, hey, you should do this with me. That's it. Like my best ones are the shorter, simpler ones. You know, you can only use the bonuses ending this month once, I feel like, because it's ending every month, you know? So after you use that, you know, you got to come up with something different. Like, there's just always a reason. Like we have a new product this month. It's back order. It's been huge for sales and we're getting tons of customers. You should totally join now. It's such a good time. You know, like, hey, let's do this thing. Or it's seriously just wording it different every time. Sometimes I say, hey, if you're not interested, just let me know. I don't want to bother you. But let me know if you're ready to do this or when you're ready to do this. And that one always gets a response. Like, if you're not interested, just let me know. And people are always like, yeah, I'm still interested. I'm just scared, or I don't have the money, or, you know, at least they answer. Because when you're just saying like, hey, join my team this month, the bonus ends and you want to make sure you're eligible. That's just kind of salesy. You got to send those messages too, but you got to break it up. You can be like, hey, did I offend you? Did I say something, you know, that you didn't like? Why aren't you answering? They'll answer. But yeah, it's literally just wording it different every time you check in with them.
I like that. I need to try that. Like what you and Heather were saying about giving them that if you're not interested, that's
yeah.
It.
I think it builds your
do that, but I want to start doing that because maybe I'll get a response. You know.
Yeah.
And I think Mayra, do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Hi. I had a loyal customer cancel her 90-day challenge. She did the first month, but the following 2, I noticed that she canceled. So I sent her a message and I said, hey, I noticed that you canceled the orders. What's going on? Did you not like the product or whatever? And she ordered the wraps and she said, they don't work. I said, well, what do you mean they don't work? And she said, yeah, I'm not noticing anything and they don't work. And I asked her, I said, well, how many have you done? And she said, well, I've only done 1. I said, well, I said, it's a system and you should try the 4. Don't just do 1 and be discouraged. I said, and it also has to do, I said, are you changing the way you eat? Are you exercising or what did you do? Well, I put it on all night and I didn't see a difference. So I got bugged and I got really mad about it. But, and I also told her, I said, well, they're not miracle wraps and you're not going to lose 5 pounds just for a whole, you know, system of just doing 4 wraps. I said, I'm barely on my 5th one and I've noticed a big difference. And she's actually my husband's coworker. So, and then another loyal customer said, I've been doing them, but I don't see a difference. And I asked them, well, what are you doing? She's like, I'm sleeping with them all night. I said, well, try doing the 45 minutes and taking a before and after picture. I said, have you noticed it like toning your skin? Or if you have stretch marks? For me, my stretch marks are going away. I said, but not necessarily all the time. You're going to see a big difference like on me that I've showed them my pictures and I show them my before and afters and they can see a big difference. So I don't know if they're expecting to see the same thing as me, but she canceled and after that she never got back to me. So I didn't know what to tell her after that. I just told her, give them a try, finish doing the other 3 and don't sleep with them at night. Just put them on for 45 minutes and just drink a lot of water. Do you have any advice?
Did you see her before and after pictures?
No, she didn't show me anything and she didn't take any.
So that's like my end all answer for all of those kind of things is if you don't show me your before and after pictures, I don't believe you. And if you're not going to show them to me, then I'm pretty much done trying to convince
I
you.
also told her, I was like, you would be the first person that I know that these reps do not work. I said, to be honest with you, because a long time ago, my mom became a distributor and she did a rep party and we all got together, and even she measured them in an inch. Even if it was an inch, I mean, you could tell a huge difference, not exactly like where everybody wanted to see, but in different areas of their body where they put it on their stomach. You didn't lose it here, but you can tell on your sides or something like that. But yeah.
That's always my answer, is if you don't have pictures, then we're done with this conversation and I move on to the next one, because it's not normally that they didn't see a difference. It's that they've already made up their mind they're not going to work. And
yeah.
Kind of a waste of time.
It just made me so mad. And the other day, my husband works at the bank, so I went to the bank and I saw her, and she like tried to avoid me completely. And I was like, whatever. I don't know. I was just mad, and I didn't even try to talk to her.
Post things about how 4 is a full treatment, how if you don't take pictures, we're our own worst critics. Like,
I actually posted on Facebook. I took it off of Ines. It's if you go to the gym and you put on 5 pounds of muscle, and is it permanent? Obviously, no, it's not. You have to work for it, and you have to change your lifestyle, and you have to change your eating habits. And that's basically what I told her. And I said, in order for them to work, I said, it's a system. You have to work at it. It's not going to disappear automatically and then stay off. You have to work at it. It's not a miracle pill or a miracle wrap.
Yes, so you know what you have your hands on. Don't let it get to you.
Okay.
You're good.
Yeah, and I think we all learn the hard way sometimes, and I think it's a good learning experience to how to approach this going forward. And I really encourage all of you to, I was watching a video in the before and afters page on how it's really important that we start posting pictures after 4 wraps. You know, a lot of us, and I'm guilty of this, I get so excited that somebody had great results after 1 wrap, and I go and I post it. So then people have this expectation that they're supposed to have good results after 1 wrap. But I think it's up to us to really portray that you need to do 4, and there's a reason why they come in a box of 4. You have to do the 4 before you even make a judgment. And in going into talking with people before they even buy the wraps and become a loyal customer, or in that process of doing that, I tell them, I give them a printout and I go over it with them and I say, look, you're not going to take pictures and you're not going to drink water. Don't even bother doing it. You will not see the difference. So I tell them straight up, like, you have to take a picture, and I follow up with them and I make sure they do that. And you will get those few people that just have already decided. You know, I've had a girl like that with hair, skin, and nails. Before she even finished the treatment, she already decided that no matter what, she wasn't going to believe in the product. And she sent me her before and after pictures. She did get growth. I saw a difference. And then the more I look back at it, you know, Stephanie told me it looks like she got her hair cut, and she had her hair cut and colored. So it was kind of like, I'm not sure that I even believe her at this point. You know, even though she got her hair cut, her hair was still longer in the after picture. So it kind of just, sometimes you get those people that are just mean about it, or they just have already decided they're not going to give it a try or believe in it. So I just, you know, I try to approach it. I move on, but then going forward, I try to really approach it differently with people, and I tell them, you know, 1 is a sample. You're going to see what it's starting to do, but you have to do the 4 and take pictures. So maybe try that approach, you know, with people going forward, and just continue to do what you're doing. You know, you said you already started making posts, and it doesn't have to be posts like what you were saying. Just post of 4 people after 4 wraps. You know, not just the 1 wrap. Like, show your personal results after 4 wraps and share your story on how you didn't think it did anything until you looked at your pictures side by side. I was that same person, and I tell people that all the time. I'm like, I said exactly the same thing until I put my pictures side by side, and until I did my 4th wrap, I didn't see a difference either. I had to look at the pictures because nobody remembers where they started. So that's just how I would approach it. I hope that helps. Mayra, does that help at all?
It does. Thank you.
Does anybody else want to add on that, or anybody else have a question before we end our call tonight? Okay. Well, thank you so much, Krista. I really appreciate you tuning in tonight. And yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you for having me. It was great to see everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll talk to you soon. Good luck, everyone.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Hey,